Hi, this is Mrs. Robertson, and today we are going over the answers for study guide number 2. We did study guide number 1 yesterday, so for those of you that aren't able to come to school today, you can watch this video and know how to get your answers right. So, let's start with problem number 1. In this problem, you're going to change them to decimals. So to change that, I think is the easiest way to do these. 45% is easy. That's 0.45. 2/3, 2 divided by 3. Add a decimal point and a 0. 3 will go into 26 times. That's an 18. Subtract. Add another 0, and you can see the pattern that is going to repeat. So to show repeating, you're going to put a bar on top of the number. So 2/3 is 0.6 repeating. 3/5, well, 5 is a factor of 10. 5 times 2 is 10, and 3 times 2 is 6. And 6/10 can be written as a decimal 0.6. So 3/5 is the decimal 6/10. Now, we will order them. 45% is 0.45. 0.6 repeating is just a whole bunch of 6's, and it continues. 0.6 would look like that, and you could put zeros behind it. And 0.625. Now we're going to put them in order from least to greatest. Well, looking at these, you can tell that the smallest number is 0.45, which is 45%. That is your smallest value. Okay, the next to the smallest is 0.6. 0.6 is 3/5. Now you write down the original way that the number was written in the problem. Then we have these two left. This is the next to the largest, so 625 thousandths. And our largest number is that one, 2/3, which is 6/10 repeating. All right, we're going to skip problem number 2 because that problem is not going to be on the test. Let's go on to problem number 3. Watch the board, please. In this problem, we are doing a similar thing. Order his scores from greatest to least. This time we want the largest number first. So, 23 over 25, I'm going to get that over 100. 25 times 4 is 100. 23 times 4 is 9,200. So that's 0.92. 87% is 0.87. And we have 91 hundredths. Out of those three numbers, 92 hundredths is the largest. So you're going to write down 23 25ths. The next to the largest is 91 hundredths. And our least value is 87%. Now let's go on to problem number 4. Everyone in here should know that 1/2 equals what percent? 50%. So that one is a very easy problem. You just write that down. In number 5, write as a fraction in simplest form. Well, this is confusing. So the first thing you're going to do in this problem is change it to a decimal. And then once it's a decimal, it'll be easy to write as a fraction. So you move it 2 places to the left, and you have 625 thousandths. Now just write that as a fraction. 625 thousandths. You put it over 1,000. Now you have more than half your points for that question, but we do have to put it in simplest form. I know that 25 will divide both of those. 625 divided by 25 is 25, and 1,000 divided by 25 will be 40. Then we go through and we have to simplify it again, yes, by 5 again. 25 divided by 5 is 5, and 40 divided by 5 is 8. And that is your simplified answer. Now, if you just write down 5/8 on your paper and you don't show this work, you are not going to know how to get the problem. So make sure you show all of the work. Some of you are not moving your pencils, and I don't think you are knowing what to do. You need to make sure you show your work. In the next problem, it's a brand new pen. I don't have anything else. Yeah, I'll get you something different later. 275% as a mixed number. You're going to put 275% means over 100. Now, how many 100s are in a 275? Yes, 2. And you have 75 left over. You put it over 100. Now, you're all pretty good with money. 75 over 100 is the same thing as quarters. How many quarters are in 75? 3. How many quarters are in a dollar? 4. 2 3/4. That is the answer for problem number 6. Are there any questions? All right. Then let's go to the back of this worksheet and write as a percent.
This is the same thing.
Yeah, it's similar, yes. So on this problem, you move it 2 places to the right. 1, 2, and the answer is 18.9, and we put a percent symbol behind it. 18 9/10%. That's the answer for that. Now you're going to write a percent as a decimal. This time you will move it 2 places to the left. 2 places left. 1, 2. 34 hundredths. Let's look at number 9. Write as a decimal. Well, you have a whole number 2, and then you have to write 1/4 as a decimal. Most of you should have this memorized. 1/4 is the same thing as 0.25. If you don't have that memorized, this is how you get the answer. 1 divided by 4. How many 4s are in a 1? None. Add a 0, a decimal point and a 0. There are 2 of them. Subtract, add another 0. How many 4s are in a 25? So if you don't have 1/4 memorized as 25 hundredths, you can just divide. 1 divided by 4. Now in problem number 10, what is 855 written as a percent? Now this is a tricky one. Remember, it's going to be big. What will I get? Yes. You.
855.
It's more than 855. If 1 equals 100%, 855 is going to be a lot larger. Yes.
85,500.
That is correct. It's 85,500. Don't forget your percent sign. How is that? Cecil, notice what I do here. There is no decimal point in 855. It's at the end. So then what I do, I make it appear, and then I move it 2 places, and I put zeros in the empty loops, and that's how I get 85,500. Very simple. Now, In number 11, this one, remember, is 4 points. 1 point for the fraction. What's my fraction going to be? Yes, 9 over 30. That's my fraction. Now, I can simplify that because 3 will divide 9 and 3 divides 30, and I get 3 over 10, right? Now it's going to be easier. Now I have to change it to a percent. To get it as a percent, I need to get it over 100. How can a 10 turn into a 100? Yes. Times 10. 10 times 10 is 100. 3 times 10 is 30. And I know my percent is 30%. So I've got my point for the fraction. I have a point for the percent. Now I have to compare them. Is Tom correct? No. Tom is not correct. Why? Because 30% is less than 40%. And there are your other 2 points. And that is your final answer for this problem here. Are there any questions on this? Can you get your what? Yes, you may. Where is it at? Okay, you may go get that and bring it back to me. Okay. Question. Yes.
How do you know where to place
This part here, number 10? Okay. In this problem, there's no decimal point. If there's no decimal point, it's behind it. Like if I talk about $5, I know the decimal point goes behind the 5, right? Yeah. So if there's not a decimal point, it's at the back end. And then to change a decimal to a percent, you move it 2 places to the right. If you forget, just think. 1 whole is 100%. Okay? And that will help you on that. Any questions? Now, pick up what's on the floor underneath your desk. If there's things underneath it, yes, it's time to go.
Time of classes.
I'm not recording yet.
Thanks.